Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers consists of three categories of ministers, namely Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and Deputy Minister. The difference between them lies in their respective ranks, emoluments, and political importance. At the top of all these ministers stand the Prime Minister, the supreme governing authority of the country. So, if you do check these statements, we can write it as PM at the head, followed by the Cabinet Minister, followed by the Ministry of State, and the Deputy Minister. These four levels constitute the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. So the difference among the Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and the Deputy Minister, there is no with respect to the nomenclature. ನಾವು ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಡೆಪ್ಯೂಟಿ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಹುದ್ದೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಹುದ್ದೆನ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, as we speak about Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, Deputy Chairman, the post of Deputy Prime Minister is also called as a minister. There is no difference among Cabinet Minister or Deputy Prime Minister. The difference is only with the nomenclature ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಣ್ಣನೆ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ಟದಷ್ಟೇ ಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿದೆ, ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಂತಹ ಭಿನ್ನತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the difference between them lies in their respective ranks, emoluments, and the political importance. So the difference between the Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, or the Deputy Minister lies in the power they enjoy and the political importance given to them in the Indian administration and the governance of India. So if they enjoy based on the power they enjoy and the political importance, we are going to divide ministers as Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and the Deputy Minister. Constitution has not mentioned about the Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and the Deputy Minister. It has mentioned only PM and other ministers. And when it comes to salaries and allowances of the Minister Act of 1952, it also speaks about the minister. Under the definition of the minister, it covers all the minister, Cabinet Minister, and then Minister of State, and then Deputy Minister. So, all minister na ಒಂದೇ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ. Constitution has not mentioned any of the difference among the minister. It has mentioned only Prime Minister and other ministers. So the difference illenidiyala, Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and Deputy Minister is based on the power they enjoy and the importance given to them with respect to the Indian administration and the Indian governance. So ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it has been taken from the UK. ಬ್ರಿಟನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ we followed the parliamentary form of government, and there was a convention with respect to division of the ministers into three levels, that is Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and the Deputy Minister in the UK. We followed that and we copied the convention. So in India it is a convention to differentiate the ministers. So apart from that, Council of Ministry ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಮೂರು ಜನನು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ it will be headed by the Prime Minister. So let's check the differences among the Cabinet Ministers and other Minister of State and the Deputy Chairman. It is based on the two keywords. Remember this one: power and the political importance. The Cabinet Ministers head the important ministries of the central government like Home, Defence, Finance, and External Affairs. So these are the important ministries which will play important role in the Indian administration. So the minister who heads the Home is called as a Home Ministry is called as a Cabinet Minister, and who heads the Defence Ministry is called as a Cabinet Minister, which are important for the Indian administration, and they have the highest power or the more power compared to the Ministry of State. They are the members of the Cabinet. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಡಬೇಕು, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಬಾಡಿ. Cabinet is decision making body. PM is a part of it and other cabinet ministers are part of it. Cabinet minister ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರೊಬ್ರು ಮಂತ್ರಿ, he will be having the highest power compared to Minister of State. When it comes to the cabinet is a decision making body. It contains or it consists of PM and other cabinet ministers, and it will decide the fate of India. It is the highest decision making body of India to decide the policies and the programs which are useful in the development of India. So the cabinet ministry ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೆನಪಿಡಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ cabinet ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನೆನಪಿಡಿ. Next come to the next paragraph. The minister of the state can either be given independent charge of the ministries of the department or can be attached to the cabinet minister. So minister of state will assist cabinet minister, or it can be given independent charge. In case of the attachment, they may either be given the charge of the departments of the ministries headed by the cabinet ministers, or allotted specific items of the work related to the ministries headed by the cabinet ministers. In both the cases, they work under the supervision and the guidance of, as well as under the overall charge or the responsibility of the cabinet minister. So if they have been attached to any of the cabinet ministry, they will work under the cabinet ministry, supervision of the cabinet ministry. If they are given the independent charge, in case of the independent charge, they perform the same functions and exercise the same powers in relation to their ministries or departments as cabinet ministers do. So they will get the independent charge also, separate ministry also. Say suppose Ministry of Steel ಇದೆ, Ministry of Skill Development ಇದೆ. These are all given the Ministry of State level because they enjoy the lesser power compared to cabinet minister, and the importance with respect to the Indian administration and Indian governance is lesser compared to the position of the cabinet minister. Hagagi, this will be considered as a the position which is lower than the cabinet minister, but it is not mentioned in the constitution. It is the convention based on the power they enjoy, based on the political importance given to them. So if it is attached, then it will be under the supervision of the cabinet ministry. It will be reporting to the cabinet ministry. If it is given the independent charge, then they will be working in an independent manner. They will be reporting to the PMR cabinet ministry. However, they are not the members of the cabinet and do not attend the cabinet meetings unless specially invited when something related to their ministries or departments is considered by the cabinet. So cabinet and the it's a decision making body. Ili PM and other cabinet ministers they are not like ministers of state are not part of the cabinet, but they will be invited. Say suppose any of the issue regarding the steel or any of the issue regarding the skill development discuss ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? Is discussing regarding the steel. During that time, the cabinet members or the head of the cabinet or the PM can invite the Ministry of Steel. ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಕರೆದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತ if they are taking any of the decision with respect to steel, they will call the steel minister and he will attend the meetings and he will brief about the policies. So this is how the Ministry of State with the independent charge will work. They are not the part of cabinet, but they are invited by the prime minister to attend the meetings of the cabinet. So the next rank is deputy minister. They are not given the independent charge of the ministries or the department. They are attached to the cabinet ministers or the ministers of state and assist them in their administrative, political and parliamentary duties. So this deputy minister idonda training kottanga avrige. So they will become the minister in future. Now they will be assisting the Minister of State or the cabinet minister. They won't get the independent charge. Okay, let's come to parliamentary secretary. They are attached to the senior minister and assist them in discharge of the parliamentary duties. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಏನು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Whatever duties these senior ministers have, they are going to assist them. Recently, there was an issue with respect to parliamentary secretaries being appointed by the Delhi government. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರೀಸ್, ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್, cabinet minister, minister of state, and then the deputy minister. After that, parliamentary secretaries. Nowadays, we are witnessing the remaining 4 kinds of ministers, remaining 3 kinds of minister and the prime minister. Now, the parliamentary secretaries is been done away with. Recently, Delhi government wanted to appoint many of the MLAs as the parliamentary secretaries. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದು ಅದರ ಕುರಿತಾದಂತೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay, before we discuss the difference between the Council of Ministers and the Cabinet, just check the role of Cabinet. It is the highest decision making body, highest decision making authority in our political administrative system. So, as for our discussion, Cabinet is the highest decision making body consisting of PM and other important cabinet ministers. That is what Cabinet is, a highest decision making body of India. It is a chief policy formulating body of the central government. So ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಈಗ ಇರೋಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಈ ಪಾಲಿಸಿನೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಏನು ಭಾರತ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದು ಉತ್ತಮವಾಗಿರೋಂಥದ್ದು, ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ಏಳಿಗೆಗೆ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಹೊಸ ಪಾಲಿಸಿನ ತರಬೇಕಾ, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ, ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಲಿಸೀಸ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ನೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಅಪ್ ದ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್. ಸೇ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್. Cabinet, which is the highest decision making body, sat together and discussed about the education policy, and whatever decision made by the cabinet being conveyed to the HRD ministry. HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಆ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹೆಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಟು ದ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಈ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್, ನಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಹೊಸ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಂಶವನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ದಿಸ್ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕನ್ವೆ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಟು ದ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್. ದಿ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ and based on the information given by the cabinet to the HRD ministry, they will formulate a draft. They will draft, and draft will be given to the HRD ministry. That draft will be again given back to the cabinet. Cabinet ಗೆ ಆ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. The cabinet will sit together again and it will check it, and if it agrees with all the provisions of the draft which is being made by the HRD ministry, and then it will give the green signal to the HRD ministry to put in the or to move with that bill or move with that draft. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ನೀವು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶವನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೀರಾ, ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಚಿವ ಸಂಪುಟ ಈ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಗೆ ಅನುಮೋದನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಿದೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ has ratified new education policy. This is how it works. So first cabinet decides what should be done with the education or the health. For that particular ministry, it will send the message to create a draft, and once the draft is being made, and it will give ratification to the draft, that is final approval from the cabinet. Ega or then now HRD ministry can move this bill in the parliament. That is why it is called as a chief policy formulating body, and it is a supreme executive authority. Statement: it is a supreme executive authority. Executive consists of Council of Minister. Within the Council of Minister, we have Cabinet, and Cabinet is the highest decision making body, and it will decide what should be implemented and how it will be implemented in India. Once they decide, then it will be passed on to other ministries. So from the ministry, the other secretary and the field officers will take up the issue and it will be implemented. So it is a supreme executive authority. It's a part of Council of Ministry, and it will convey the message how it will be implemented to particular ministry. Within that particular ministry, secretary will be there, followed by the field officers. They will implement whatever been decided by the cabinet. So it is a chief coordinator of the central administration. Say suppose any of the ministry, labor ministry has made some laws with respect to labor laws na madide. A labor laws might affect other ministry. ಈಗ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ನಲ್ಲೂ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. This labor ministry law could affect the health ministry and the education ministry. Anta sandarbhadalli it will coordinate. So cabinet will coordinate between the health ministry and the labor ministry. It will coordinate between the education ministry and the other ministry. Say for example, finance ministry which will provide the money to all the ministers. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಅವರೇ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡೋದು. ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಚೀಫ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆನೂ ಒಂದು ಅನುಬಂಧವನ್ನ ಬೆಸೆಯುವಂತ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. ಕಮ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸರಿ ಬಾಡಿ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಹಿಮ್. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮುಂಚಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. 6th statement. It is the chief crisis manager and thus deals with all the emergency situations. So during the proclamation of the emergency, only based on the written recommendation from the cabinet. So now emergency chapter na tagandaga alli poortiyagi bidsi heltini. Now you do remember only one fact, that based on the written recommendation, based on the not the oral recommendation, based on the written recommendation, president can proclaim the national. Come to statement number 7. It deals with all the major legislative and the financial matters. It exercises control over higher appointments like constitutional authorities and senior secretariat and administrators. ನಾವು ಹಿಂದೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ UPSC ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಚೇರ್ಮನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, CAG ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ important authorities will be appointed based on the recommendations of the cabinet. Though the president appoints them, the recommendation will be made by the cabinet. It deals with all foreign policies and foreign affairs. So the major it is the highest decision making body. It will take the decisions in relation to foreign policy and the foreign affairs. Final. The distinction between Council of Ministers and Cabinet. These two words are used interchangeably. There is a difference between Council of Ministers and Cabinet. Just look into the difference. Council of Ministers ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮಂತ್ರಿಮಂಡಲ ಮತ್ತು ಸಚಿವ ಸಂಪುಟ. It is a wider body consisting of 60 to 70 ministers. All the ministers comes under the category of Council of Ministers. It is a smaller body consisting of 15 to 20 ministers. So the important ministers, including the Prime Minister, forms the part of cabinet. It includes all the three categories of ministers, that is cabinet ministers, minister of state and deputy ministers. ಇವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವೇನು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಓದೋದನ್ನ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸಹ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, thus it is a part of council of ministers. So the council of minister is a wider body and the cabinet is a part of it. So all the ministers of the cabinet are part of council of ministry, but not all the council of ministers are part of the cabinet. It does not meet, consider the third statement, it does not meet as a body to transact the government business. It has no collective function. Council of minister ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, council of minister consists of 70 ministries. ಈಗಿರೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 65ರಿಂದ 70ನ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, M70 ಅಂತೇಳಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. This ministry is related to sports and the other one is related to steel and the other one is related to skill development. ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, if you look into the activities of the steel ministry, it's totally different from the activities of the sports ministry. So ಇದು ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ತನ್ನ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಏನಿದೆ ತನಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಇಂಟರ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಕೋಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದ sports ministry doesn't have any collective functions in most of the cases. In generally the steel ministry and the sports ministry doesn't have any collective function. They will work on their own. When it comes to the cabinet, it meets as a body frequently and usually once in a week to deliberate and to take decisions regarding to the transaction of the government business. Transaction of the government business antandre it's nothing but administration and it's nothing but the governance of India. Say this is called as cabinet. This cabinet will meet once in a week. ನೋಡಿ, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಹಣದ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಮನಿ. ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದೇರ್ own platform, but they do require some money. So cabinet ministry, which consists of the finance ministry also, they will sit together and they will decide what should be the money to be given to the steel industry or the steel ministry for the proper administration, and what should be the money to be given to the sports ministry for the proper administration. This is what we call collective function. So it will decide or it will sit together once in a week and it will deliberate and take decision regarding the transaction of the government business. To make the sports ministry to work in certain manner or to transact its business, it requires money that will be provided by the cabinet. And the steel ministry requires some money. It is being sanctioned or it is being provided by the cabinet meeting. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತು ಅವರು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವರಿಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That is why it has a collective function and it will sit together and ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಂದಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ವಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಸಿ. ಇನ್ ದ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಸಿ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ. ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಸಾವರಿನ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿರೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪವರ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ದ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. But if you do check the power of the council of minister, and within the council of minister, cabinet has the highest power. And the cabinet, within the cabinet, PM has the highest power. So the parliamentary form of government, how it has been turned into prime ministerial form of government ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೇ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಈಗಾಗಿರೋಂಥ MPs ಏನಿದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಶೋಭಾ ಕರಂದ್ಲಾಜೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ತೇಜಸ್ವಿ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್ ರೇವಣ್ಣ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯನ್ನ ತಾಂಡೋಣ. ಆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕಬಳ್ಳಾಪುರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೋಲಾರಕ್ಕೆ ನೀರಿನ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಸುಮಲತಾ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನಾದ್ರು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲ್ ರೇವಣ್ಣ ಹತ್ರ ಅಥವಾ ಶೋಭಾ ಕರಂದ್ಲಾಜೆ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದೋ ವಿ ಆರ್, ನಾವು ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಂತಹ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗಿನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಏನು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಟು ದ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾದ್ರು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಡಿ.ವಿ. ಸದಾನಂದ ಗೌಡರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಡಿ.ವಿ. ಸದಾನಂದ ಗೌಡರು ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರೊಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸತ್ಯ, ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀವಿ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ will be taken by the cabinet and we are going to implement that. It's better you do visit the cabinet ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ರಾಜನಾಥ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರೊಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಂತ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಯಾರಿಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ prime minister. So if the prime minister decides any of the decision or if he decides any of the solution for this one, then it will become or it will be implemented. So this is how the parliamentary form of government, how it's turned into prime ministerial form of government. But within the executive, the council of minister is executive. Within the executive, cabinet and the PM has got the highest power compared to other council of minister. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು it is vested with all the powers but in theory. Come to next point. Its functions are determined by the cabinet. So ಇದೇನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಆ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ HRD ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಈಗ ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ will implement this one. So the cabinet will inform the HRD ministry to implement the new education policy in the future time. Then the HRD ministry will hand over that function to the secretary and other field officers. They will implement the policies. So its functions are determined by the cabinet. So cabinet determines the what are the functions to be done by the HRD ministry. It directs the council of ministers by taking the policy decision which are binding on all ministers. So whatever decision been taken by the cabinet is binding on the HRD minister and it will implement the new education policy in the future. It implements the decisions taken by the cabinet. It supervises the implementation of the decision by the council of the ministers. So whatever it's going to supervise whatever function given to the HRD ministry. And then come to seventh statement. It is a constitutional body dealt in detail by the Article 74 and 75 of the Constitution. So it is a constitutional body. It was inserted in the Article 352 of the Constitution in 1978 by the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Thus, it did not find a place in the original text of the Constitution. So it was not found in the original Constitution. Later, it was added in the Constitutional Amendment Act. Now it is a constitutional body. It's mentioned in the Article 352 of Indian Constitution. The cabinet, a small body consisting of the prime minister, as it said, and some 15 to 20 most important ministers, is the highest decision-making body in the formal sense. However, a still smaller body called inner cabinet or the kitchen cabinet has become the real center of power. This informal body consists of prime minister and 2 to 4 influential colleagues in whom he has the faith and with whom he can discuss every problem. So we know that council of ministry is a bigger body. Within that we have the cabinet. The cabinet consists of PM and other influential cabinet ministers. Within this cabinet we have inner cabinet or the kitchen cabinet. This is informal in nature where the PM along with 2 to 4 most influential ಕೊಲೀಗ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರೋಂಥ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗಿನ ಸದ್ಯದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ರಾಜನಾಥ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಅವರು. ದಿಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿನ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ decisions will be taken by the inner cabinet in a faster manner. ಇವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್. Whatever been discussed in the cabinet that will be given back to the council minister for the implementation. So the most decisions will be taken in a faster manner in the inner cabinet or in the kitchen cabinet. Inner cabinet ಅಥವಾ kitchen cabinet ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, this is not only present in India, it is present everywhere in the world. USA ಮತ್ತೆ UK ನಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಇದೆ. In the kitchen cabinet, most of the time, not only colleagues, not only ministers, but family members and the close friends also involved over here. So that is the issue with this kitchen cabinet. Friends irbodu ಅಥವಾ family members irbodu. Why it is called as a kitchen cabinet ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is informal ಅಂತ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದನೇ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಾಳಿ, ಈ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ನೆಂಟರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಗಂಡನ ಬಳಿ ಸಾಲವನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ. ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಗಂಡ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಆಸೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರ ನೆಂಟರೇನೋ ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವಳು ಕರೀತಾಳೆ, ಕರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾಳೆ, ಇದೆ ಬೆಡ್ರೂಮ್ಗೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಿಚನ್ಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅವಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ನೋಡಿ 1000-2000 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ನೀವು ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕಿಚನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಕೊಟ್ರೆ 1000-2000 ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So whatever been decided informally within the kitchen or the bedroom will be conveyed to the cabinet. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು, that will be conveyed to the cabinet and it will be passed by the cabinet or ratified by the cabinet and it will be given back to the council of minister for the implementation. So this is what we call ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್. ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಿಚನ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕಂಟೈನ್ಸ್ a PM and other 2 to 3 influential cabinet ministers or his friends or his family members. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ. ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ 1970s ಮತ್ತೆ 80s ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಬೈ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಹರ್ ಸನ್ ಸಂಜಯ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಟು ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅದೇ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಯಾರನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ ಓದಿ, ನೀವು ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಚಿತ್ರಣ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಬೈ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ವರ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಸನ್ ಸಂಜಯ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ, though he was not a part of council of ministry. ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೂ ಸಂಜಯ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂದಿರಾ ಗಾಂಧಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನ ಬೀರಿದ್ರು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್. So the phenomenon of kitchen cabinet, where decisions are cooked and placed before the cabinet for the formal approval, is not unique to India. It also exists in USA and Britain and is quite powerful in influencing the government decisions. ಈಗಿರೋ USA ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಂಟನ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ his wife Hillary Clinton was influencing the decisions of ಬಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಂಟನ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಫ್ಯಾಷನ್ ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೊನಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರಂಪ್ ಅವರ ನಿರ್ಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರ ಮಗಳ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯಗಳು ಸಹ ತುಂಬಾ ಪ್ರಭಾವವನ್ನ ಬೀರ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಟು ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಓದ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಫಿನಿಶ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಇರುವಂತ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳೇನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೈನರ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ದ minor differences. As the Constitution of India provides for a parliamentary system of government in the states on the union pattern, the Council of Ministers, headed by the Chief Minister, is the real executive authority in the politico-administrative system of a state. The Council of Ministers in the states is constituted and function in the same way as the Council of Ministers at the center. So this is the important thing. We are going to follow the parliamentary form of government at the state level and the central level. Both nominal and real executive head are available at the central level and the state level. Article 163, the Council of Ministers to aid and advise the governor. There shall be a Council of Ministers with the Chief Minister as the head to aid and advise the governor in the exercise of his function, except in so far he is required to exercise his functions in his discretion. The only difference here is, in case of president, he doesn't have any constitutional discretion. He has only situational discretion. When it comes to the governor, he has the constitutional discretion as well as the situational discretion. The president should act according to aid and advice of the prime minister, who is the council of ministers. When it comes to the governor, he can act as per aid and advice or as per his discretionary power. Whether to act according to aid and advice or according to the discretionary power, the final authority to decide that is governor itself. So the choice is given to the governor only. That is a major difference when it comes to aid and advice to the governor and aid and advice to the president. This we have discussed in the last section. The total number of ministers, including the chief minister, in the council of ministers in the state shall not exceed 15% of the total strength of the legislative assembly of that state. But the number of ministers, including the chief minister, in state shall not be less than 12. Shall not be less than 12. That is 12 to 15% of the Lok Sabha. So remember this one. This is a whole number, and this is in the percentage format. Come to fifth point. In fifth point, they are given the council of ministers shall be collectively responsible to state legislative assembly. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು collective responsibility ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ. They have to say the same thing at the same time. They have to support each other. They have to defend each other in each and every decisions. That is what we call collective responsibility. As long as they enjoy the confidence of the legislative assembly or majority in the legislative assembly, they remains in the office. Otherwise, they have to resign. So you remember this one. It is collectively responsible to the legislative assembly, not to the legislative council. The nature of advice by the minister. The Article 163 provides for a council of ministers with a chief minister at the head to aid and advise the governor in the exercise of his functions, except the discretionary ones. If any question arises whether the matter falls within the governor's discretion or not, the decision of the governor is final. So he can act according to the aid and advice of the chief minister or according to his discretionary power. In 1971, the Supreme Court ruled that the council of ministers must always exist to advise the governor even after the dissolution of the state legislative assembly or resignation of the council of ministers. Hence, the existing ministry may continue in the office until the successor assumes the charge. So we have discussed this one in the last section also. We checked whenever Lok Sabha dissolves, it doesn't mean that council of ministry will dissolve automatically. So they will remain in the office till the successor comes to the office. So the next government, till the time the next government is formed, they will remain in the office. In the same fashion, at the state level, to maintain continuity in the administration and in the governance, even though the legislative assembly get dissolved, the council of minister or the state council of minister will remain in the office till the successor or the next group of council of minister come to the office. ಅವ್ರು ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ಇವರು ಆ ಒಂದು ಹುದ್ದೆನಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಡಳಿತವನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. So whenever the constitution requires the satisfaction of the governor, the satisfaction is not the personal satisfaction of the governor, but it is the satisfaction of the council of minister. Even this is been discussed in the last case. So wherever we are going to come across satisfaction of the governor word or the phrase in the constitution, it shows that it is not the personal satisfaction of the governor, but the satisfaction of the state council of minister headed by the chief minister. Come to collective responsibility. Collective responsibility ಬಗ್ಗೆ in detail we have discussed in the earlier section. The fundamental principle underlying the working of parliamentary system of government is the principle of collective responsibility. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಇರೋಂಥದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲದು ಪೂರ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅದೇನೆ. They will swim together, they will sing together, and they are responsible to the legislative assembly. And if the no confidence motion is moved against the council of minister, all the minister have to resign, including those who are from the legislative council. This is what we call collective responsibility. They have to defend each other, they have to support each other. It doesn't matter what they say, but they have to say the same fact at the same time, same thing at the same time. That is what we call collective responsibility. So if we continue thing which have been mentioned in the with whatever things been mentioned with respect to the Central Council of Ministers, it's been mentioned over here. The principle of the collective responsibility also means that the cabinet decision bind on all the cabinet ministers. So all the decisions are binding on the cabinet ministers and other ministers. If any of the minister differing with the view of the cabinet decision, then he has to resign. So ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಸಮಾಧಾನ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ then they can protest outside the government, not being within the government. That is being mentioned in the collective responsibility. So next come to individual responsibility. In case of difference of opinion or the dissatisfaction with the performance of the minister, the chief minister can ask him to resign or advise the governor to dismiss him. So it is based on the performance. ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರೇನಾದ್ರು ಕಾರ್ಯಾಚರಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ CM has the power to advise the governor to remove that minister from that particular post, or he may ask directly that minister to resign. So this will ensure the collective responsibility. So we have discussed the no legal ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಏನಾದರೂ ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಯಿತು ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ UK. ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ಲೀಗಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. When it comes to the composition of Council of Ministers, as we discussed earlier, the composition is same over here. Here also we are going to call them as cabinet ministers. We are going to call them the cabinet minister, followed by the Ministry of State, ministers of state, followed by the deputy minister. So these names not been mentioned in the, or the differences or the classification is not been mentioned in the constitution. It is a convention followed by the Britain. So the cabinet minister, deputy and the minister of state, the difference among these ministers we are going to find with respect to the power they enjoy and the importance given to them in the political and the administrative system of India. So based on that we are going to differentiate cabinet and then minister of state and the deputy minister. Cabinet has the highest power compared to minister of state and the deputy ministers. So we are done with the central executive and the state executive. We are left with the few topics, that is one is related to judiciary and the other thing is related to local self governments and the constitutional bodies that we can cover in the future classes. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ಹೊರಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಪ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ತ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಂಗೆ ದಿನೇ ದಿನೇ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರೋಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೂ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋಂಥವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯದ ಕಡೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಆರೋಗ್ಯವನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ದೈಹಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ. ನೀವು ಮಾನಸಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಲವಾಗಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀರಾ. ರೈಟ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಮೀಟ್ ಯು ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್.